Visualize the day you finally retire. Do you see yourself cruising around the world, dining in fancy restaurants? Or do you see yourself living extremely frugally as a result of the limited amount you received from your retirement fund? Retirement planning is one of the most crucial decisions we would ever have to make in our lifetime. And one wrong move, and everything we've built all our lives for can be put at risk. But worry not, because here is usable wisdom. We will be discussing with you 5 mistakes you must avoid when retiring. So if you want more content like this to help you achieve your financial freedom, feel free to click subscribe and hit that notification bell, so you're always updated on our latest uploads that will surely help transform your life. Admit it or not, we can't deny the fact that regardless of how much you enjoy your job, we all desire a pleasant retirement. Being able to enjoy the results of your effort, which you've been working on for decades, is something to be proud of. And the good news is that everyone may plan for a delightful retirement. It does, however, necessitate careful planning, which must begin when you are young. Not only does this extend the time horizon you have to invest in for your later years, but it also allows you to better weather financial uncertainties that accompany economic downturns, many of which we have recently witnessed. Not to mention the fact that starting to save at a young age helps you to better address variables such as inflation and healthcare. Sadly, even with all of these factors taken into account, there are mistakes that early retirees, or any retiree for that matter, can make that will have a significant impact on the quality of their post-career life. This is why it is important to be well informed, not just when you retire, but also in the years leading up to it. An early retiree needs to plan and make realistic goals for the future, but it's all too frequent that the two don't go hand in hand. In the end, poor financial decisions are made. According to the Federal Reserve, 36% of adults who have not retired believe their finances are in order for retirement. Another 44% are confident they are on track, while the remainder is not. This compels a lot of people with uncertain futures to deal with it. These problems will only get worse if you make these 5 mistakes when it's time to retire. Mistake number 1, not phasing into retirement. Don't make the same mistake as many early retirees and choose an age at random. After that, they'll work to save the money they'll need to attain their goal, because a black and white number approach never accurately reflects reality. Your early retirement goals might be unachievable unless you incrementally phase out the process. You can progressively approach the conclusion of your career by breaking it down into phases. Early retirement allows you to work from home, work part-time, or switch careers. A gradual move to a less demanding career will result in an early retirement. Make it simple to bridge any psychological or financial barriers that may exist between the end of your work and full-time retirement. Beginning early retirement by working less shifts your focus away from the end of your working life, allowing you to envision your total retirement sooner. A 45-year-old employee who wants to retire at 55 and earns $100,000 per year is an outstanding demonstration of a phased-out retirement, because the monthly benefits for this individual are more substantial. They put off receiving Social Security for 5 years after becoming eligible. The early retiree with an above-average salary history can use this strategy. If the early retiree had quit their job entirely at age 55, all expenses would have been covered solely by their retirement savings once they became eligible for Social Security. The ideal approach will be to gradually reduce workload while earning at least $50,000 in salary between the ages of 55 and 59. From the age of 60 to 63, the retiree would get $30,000 in a phased-out early retirement, eventually reducing the amount of withdrawals from their individual retirement account. Mistake number 2, not setting up multiple streams of income. Early retirement will entail more than simply amassing a nest egg until the time comes to hatch and then crack in order to pay for your post-work years. Preserving a proper retirement lifestyle will necessitate multiple sources of income. You must now rely solely on your investment options or retirement savings. There are also psychological advantages to relying on more than one source of income. However, it is critical to account for during multiple resource planning that inflation that is not factored into your pension or social security benefits, which you can as well claim early on, are adjusted annually to cover your Medicare costs due to inflation. Investing in assets such as real estate and certain recession-proof stocks ensures that your money's value grows despite inflation. There is a higher payout of around 8% for each year when benefits are not claimed after the age of 62, and you cannot withdraw from your 401k or IRA investments until you reach the age of 59 and a half, or else your drawers will be subject to a 10% subcharge penalty, reducing your income even further and putting your retirement savings at risk. Your ideal early retirement plan should include additional income sources on which you can rely before the age of 59 and a half. Take into consideration assets such as real estate rental, part-time work, stocks, bonds, and taxable brokerage accounts are examples of backup resources in addition to your retirement nest egg. A significant proportion of your retirement investment may be in stocks or growth options that help your savings last long after you retire. However, this approach is only recommended if the stocks have a track record of consistent performance, for the reason that a recession or market downturn may have a disproportionate impact on your long-term assets due to the sequence of returns risk, whereas most workers will automate their 401k savings investment. It is essential for early retirees to consider investing in these and other low-cost mutual funds or ETFs. Any money you invest in the stock market should be money that you can afford to lose if the stocks fall, rather than funds from your retirement savings or investments to maintain your desired level of income. During turbulent market downturns, you will need to withdraw from declining value accounts, which will necessitate the liquidation of more assets. Plan your multiple income streams based on market conditions, and be flexible with your annual withdrawal amount from an investment account. Don't ever be enticed to take a loan from your retirement account. As an early retiree, you may not be able to replace a lavish purchase. Always keep in mind that withdrawing from investments such as an IRA will result in a tax penalty. Income tax and penalties are levied on distributions made before the age of 59 and a half. Mistake number 3, mismanaging Social Security benefits. Although it makes sound financial sense to delay collecting Social Security for your retirement benefits as long as possible, you risk jeopardizing your reliance on your financial assets. You may receive more monthly benefits if you postpone these collections until you are older, but that is not always the best option. Another compelling reason is if you're in a job that isn't good for your health and you'll only be earning what you've worked for all these years. You should start collecting Social Security benefits as soon as possible. When you retire to collect benefits, you'll be paid more money in the last decades of your life when you'll need it the most. But even so, this is not always the best course of action. If you're in a job that's not good for your health and you'll only be earning what you've worked for all these years, it's a good idea to start collecting Social Security benefits as soon as possible. Waiting too long to apply for social benefits also indicates that if you don't live past your 80s, you're leaving money on the table for the government. And these are funds that are non-transferable. A lower monthly payout is preferable to no benefit at all. To summarize, here are 3 scenarios in which it may make sense to collect your Social Security benefits sooner rather than later. First, you've attained the eligibility age of 62 and have to use the money in your early retirement years. Second, your total income requirements will necessitate that you withdraw more than 5% of your next day's total from your retirement account, increasing the risk of premature account draining. Finally, you require additional income from Social Security despite the fact that the monthly payments are lower before reaching the age of 70. Reducing the risk of overdependence or depletion of savings. Mistake number 4, overlooking health costs. Your employer will most likely provide your health insurance while you are working, and once you are fully retired at 65 or older, you will be primarily covered by Medicare. When you retire early, you may be perplexed about your health insurance options because you are somewhere between employed and fully retired. Regrettably, the current health insurance climate of uncertainty makes things difficult. A financial advisor or health insurance specialist will recommend the best options and the most comfortable rates for your early retirement. If you have a spouse who is still working after you've retired, it makes sense to join their health insurance plans. For the time being, the Affordable Care Act provides each state's health care exchange as an affordable insurance option, and tax credits for your reduced retirement income may include assets to offset premiums. Direct primary care is a substitute health insurance model that will cost you a flat monthly rate for any routine primary medical care services. I recommend that you purchase long-term health insurance before retiring early because premiums will rise as you age. Also, if you are in the early stages of retirement and are still healthy and active, don't overspend on health insurance premiums. When you get older, the effects of aging will necessitate that your health insurance arrangements pay off because you will need care and you won't be able to rely on government policy Medicare. Remember that even with supplemental insurance and Medicare, you must pay for insurance deductibles and medical procedures that may not be covered, as well as insurance copays that can accumulate over time. Medicare does not pay for optometrist services, dental care, or hearing aids. According to Fidelity, the average American couple's retirement health care will cost them more than $200,000, not including long-term care services. With Medicare only covering 80% of your healthcare costs during retirement, you can either pay for supplemental coverage out of pocket or stay very healthy. Setting aside some money for such old age medical expenses will allow you to live out the rest of your retirement in comfort. Mistake number 5, not considering your legacy. Over 40% of elderly parents provide financial assistance to their adult children in one way or another. Children of early retirees are typically younger and more reliant than average, causing some people's financial burdens to be unbearable. If you have more than one child to support after early retirement, it is not uncommon to spend more than $1,000 per month. By including your financially dependent children in your early retirement plans, you can avoid unexpected expenses and the relationship strains that come with them. Instead of breaking ties with your grown children, speaking with them prior to retirement will establish the financial support they can reasonably expect from you. Set rules and boundaries with your children about how much and how long you will support them to keep your financial plans from being jeopardized by additional money requests. And at last, when you retire, you want to know that your financial future is secure. When it comes to planning for early retirement, your sacrifices to save for retirement, your investments, and your Social Security retiree benefits all play important roles. Don't jeopardize your financial capabilities in your golden years by ignoring these retirement mistakes. I hope you learned something meaningful from this video. And for more videos like this, don't forget to subscribe to Useful Wisdom, where we will be sharing with you the latest tips and tricks in the financial space, as well as business and entrepreneurship. Until next time, see ya!